Allergies are like a civil war. It's two sides which should be working together, but instead they begin to fight, and usually ends up with disastrous results. People all around us have allergies. They're part of our daily life, so it's very important to be able to recognize symptoms of allergies as well as ways to help deal with it. We'll start with a couple reasons or things that could start an allergic reaction. We'll move into symptoms that you can recognize, and as well as a couple of the common ways that they are dealt with. So first, what causes an allergic reaction? Unfortunately, that answer is incredibly varied. It can range from things such as cat hair or springtime pollen getting into your nose. It could range into eating carrots, for example. That's something that affects me. It could range to brushing your hand against a latex balloon, and that could cause a serious life-threatening reaction. So unfortunately, your body releases histamines whenever it encounters a foreign pollutant that it deems harmful, and whether it is or isn't, your body can kick into a overreaction and produce too much. This causes your blood vessels to loosen up to allow more blood flow to the air, which is normally a good thing. However, if there's too much blood flow into an area, that can cause swelling, it can cause redness, it can cause itchiness, it causes your sinuses to go into overdrive, produce too much mucus, and at very worst, it can cause shortness of breath. That is anaphylactic shock, and that is what everyone worries about. That is the real scare. Most of the time, allergies never really get to that point. Normally it's just the stuffy nose, or it's just my face looks a little weird, or I'm a little bit itchy, but it can reach that point, and that's what we have to worry about. So ways that it's commonly dealt with. The first method of counteracting is called an antihistamine, and if you couldn't tell based on the name, it counteracts the histamine signals to your body. It tells them that the red alert is fine, it's just a false signal, and it starts to turn it back off. That is a very common way of dealing with allergies, and usually it's used for smaller things such as, oh man, I have suffering from hay fever, my nose is all full, or I do this all the time, I eat the wrong kind of food, my head itches like crazy, I pop a few Benadryl. But unfortunately, drugs are weird, and sometimes they don't always react the way you need them to. Sometimes they take a little bit too much time, and that's the really worrying one. If you can't breathe, you don't have time for your medicine to kick in. So there is a secondary solution, and that is epinephrine, more commonly known as adrenaline. This is a natural hormone. This kicks into your body instantaneously because it knows what to do with it. It does a lot of different things, but what we're looking at is that it constricts your blood veins. It's getting your body ready for a fight or flight syndrome. Response. So that counteracts the effects of the histamine. It causes your body to reduce swelling, so that way you get the chance to breathe at least for a little bit. But it is only for a little bit, because it's not a permanent solution. Eventually, the adrenaline will wear out, and when it wears out, then you're right back into the fire. So if someone is suffering from an allergic reaction and it gets too serious, do not hesitate to call 911. It's better to be safe than sorry, and it's far too common for someone to get seriously hurt just because someone hesitated. If it ever comes down to needing to give epinephrine to somebody, immediately call 911 and get help. So, scary stuff out of the way. Bit of review. Allergies are the body's overreaction to a non-existent threat. Causes your blood veins to release too much blood. It swells up. It can constrict your throat. If it ever comes down to something that serious, you find epinephrine. That's usually in the form of an EpiPen. Get a doctor. Call 911. Thank you very much.